Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I think Malaysia would be a new country if Dr. Baru Bian could be invited, not by a church, but by a pass to his muktamar. Now, what do you think of that? Allow me to call a spade as a political scientist. My first point is that the context of this entire debate about Islamic State and hudud law and so on is a zero-sum game of communal competition with a religious package, notwithstanding the global factors. It's a currency. Religion is a currency to define us and others. If you look back at the Sedition Act, which was amended after 1969, the ethnic riot, Islam was not even a sensitive issue then. The sensitive issue then, the currency to define the ethnic divide was language. But today, language is no longer an issue, and religion has taken its place. And when you talk about Islamic State, this has become the be-all and end-all in how do you expand the role of Islam and Muslim vis-a-vis other faiths and other religious communities. And that's a challenge. Because to say no to Islamic State for Muslims is like, you're negating the expansion of the role of Islam for this country, which made Farouk, such a brave public intellectual because he's speaking up in a very unpopular way to many. To me, religious competition is inevitable. That's my second point. I admire my friends in the past, Dr. Mujahid, Dr. Zulkifli Ahmad, Khalid Samad, and so on, for trying to push a party to take on the line and say, okay, we want to move away and want to be much more universal and so on. But to many of the grassroots, the difficult question is that if you don't talk about Islam, then what is past for? It's a fundamental question of like, how are we different from unknown? And unless you deal with that, you can't actually take the issue out. So I think we really need to go back and accept the fact that say, you have to deal with this religious competition. You can't do that alone. It remained with us for quite some time. It's a question of then, just which direction. Now, my third point is, you have to rethink about the role of religion in this competition. Let us consider the fact that all religions would prioritize and privilege their believers. That's what we call selective incentive. Otherwise, why do you believe in your faith, right? The believers must be treated better than the non-believers, at least in the afterlife. Given the fact that there is nothing great if a religion can actually show to you and say that we better privilege our believers than others. That's just business. I think for religion to be great is how does the religion treat the non-believers. To me, that should be the battlefield for the competition. How far can you actually treat the non-believers? I'm a non-Christian, a non-believer of Christianity. I benefit from the existing secular state model, which is an outcome of years, centuries of wars, reflections and reform of Christianity. Now, to what extent that today we can actually have the religious competition for the Muslim in a way that they will actually try to outdo what they can offer for non-believers. I think that should be the question that can take us out from this debate. To me, the most successful project of Islamization in this country is Islamic banking. It doesn't impose on anyone, but the figure shows that the biggest community of depositors in Islamic banking are the non-Muslim Chinese. It was not imposed on them. So why did the Chinese, rush to Islamic banking? Very simple reason, it's good. I think that's actually where Islamization should go back to. As I say, every religion provide the best for your believers. It's a question now, how can you offer the best for non-believers? And I think if Islam can do that, I have no problem with the Islamic state. Thank you.
I think we need to be very focused. We're talking about this debate in the context of Malaysia and in the context of the Malaysian federal institutions. I think it's going to be history. I think it has been defined, it has been interpreted. We know statement made by previous prime ministers of this nation, decided in Supreme Court Oman been so the Supreme Court. I think that's already decided. But I like the Farouk article. I think it's very clear to me. It resonates to our minds. The non-Muslim, as he gets us to his article. And I quote from his article that came out on August 2nd, arguing for a secular state in Malaysia. Secularism does not mean the exclusion of religion from the public life of society. And he goes on, calling for a state to be secular is not similar in any ways to the call of secularizing society. A state should be secular in the sense that it is neutral to all the differing religious doctrines. And goes on, a secular state must embrace democracy, and democracy cannot be based on Sharia law, as that on the contrary would denote theocracy. So based on that understanding, as this debate is in particular in relation to Malaysia, therefore I agree with Malik in touch. Yeah, Article 4 solves the problem. The Constitution is the supreme law of the land, not Sharia, and not the Quran. Now get back into the context of East Malaysia, Sabah, Sarawak. As by way of emphasis, I don't know if I make it very short. Now, the court, previous prime ministers confirmed that Malaysia is a secular state. So with Sabah and Sarawak, for Malaysians, it's so clear. For us, we were looking for a second state. You look at the Global Commission, the big report, all over the pages, where they met non-Muslim in Sabah and Sarawak. They're all, in fact, they're very good in Article 3. Okay? But look at this. And the report came out by the Global report. Paragraph 148. I brought this because I didn't want to quote from the A. And on the region, this is what the views of the chairman and his members on this region. There remains a provision in the existing federal constitution of Malaya that Islam is the religion and that certain public expenditure may be incurred for Islamic purposes. All Muslim communities should welcome the provision that Islam should be the national religion of the nation, but even with guarantees of freedom and within the border states, we have met strong resistance from many non-Muslim communities to the idea that this federal provision should apply to the political terrorists. We consider that this is a matter for people of the Borneo territory should have a non-Muslim majority to decide for themselves at a later stage when fully elected representative bodies have been constituted. We recommend, therefore, that the federal provision should not be extended to the Borneo territories in the meantime. The views of the Malayan members, and this is important. We think that all Muslim community would welcome the provision that Islam should be the national religion of the nation. Among the non-Muslims who appeared before us, there was a substantial number who would not object to the present practice in the Federation of Malaya, as they are satisfied with the provision for fundamental liberties and freedom of religion in the Malayan Constitution. There were, however, a number of non-Muslims who were most anxious that there should be no national region for the federation. A great many of them, however, would be prepared to consider that Islam might be made the national region, provided that it should not be the region of their particular state. That included with this program. Taking this point fully into consideration, we are agreed that Islam should be the national region for the federation. We are satisfied that the proposal in no way jeopardizes freedom of region in the federation, which in effect would be secular. That I would do. And it's very clear interpretation and understanding when we form Malaysia in 63 that we expect that Malaysia would be a secular state, not a Islamic state. Thank you.